Bhaja Govindam, verse 15. Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam Dasanavihinam Jatam Tundam Vrddho Yati Grhitva Dandam Tadapi Na Muncatyasapindam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. The body has worn out. The hair has turned grey. The mouth has become toothless. The old man moves about, leaning on his staff. Even then, he doesn't leave the bundle of his desires. Seek Govinda, O foolish mind. Let's listen to a story based on this verse. Once, an old man was travelling by train on a pilgrimage to Vrindavan. At night, whilst he was asleep, his wallet fell from his pocket. A co-passenger found it the next morning and enquired as to whom the wallet belonged. The old man said it was his. A picture of Sri Krishna inside the wallet was a proof that the wallet really belonged to him. The old man then began to relate the story of the wallet. He soon had a group of eager listeners around him. Lifting up the purse for all to see, the old man said, "This purse has a long history behind it. My father gave it to me years ago when I was a mere schoolboy. I kept my little pocket money in it and also a photograph of my parents. Years passed. I grew up and began studying at university. Like every youth, I became conscious of my appearance. I replaced my parents' photograph with that of my own, and I would look at it often. I had become my own admirer. Then came marriage. Self-admiration gave way to the consciousness of a family. Out went my own picture, and I replaced it with that of my wife's. During the day, I would open the wallet many times and gaze at the picture. All tiredness vanished, and I would resume my work with enthusiasm. Then came the birth of my first child. What a joy I experienced when I became a father. I would eagerly rush home after work to play with my little baby. Needless to say, my wife's picture had already made way for the child's." The old man paused. Wiping his tearful eyes, he looked around and said in a sad voice, "Friends, my parents passed away long ago. My wife too died 5 years ago. My son, my only son, is now married. He is too busy with his career and his family. He has no time for me. I now stand on the brink of death. I do not know what awaits me in future. Everything I loved, everything I considered my own has left me. A picture of Lord Krishna now occupies the place in my wallet. I know he will never leave me. I wish now that I had kept his picture with me right from the beginning. He alone is true. All others are just passing shadows." Earthly ties are transitory. Today, they seem to be the be-all and end-all of life, and tomorrow they vanish. Our real tie is with God. God is one's very own. It is the eternal relationship. He is ever looking after us. Call on the Lord who pervades the entire universe. He will shower His blessings upon you. Our wealth will remain on earth. Our cattle will remain in the stables. Our spouse will come till the entrance door. Our relatives and friends will come till the cremation ground. Our body will accompany us till the funeral pyre. But on the way beyond this life, only our karmas will accompany us. Hence, we must strive to do good. Desires never leave us. There is no limit to desires. If one is fulfilled, another keeps rising. This continues with us till our last breath, unless we understand the truth. Life is like a circle which has a center and a periphery. Most of our lives are spent in the periphery, seeking the external material objects and people. We forget to look within. That is the center. Body changes every day. Graying hair, losing teeth, creaking bones, using a walking stick, all these are inevitable part of aging. It is also the indication for one to realize that slowly start giving up attachments. Understand the reality so that one can be in peace. One lives in despair, unhappiness, because one lives in desires, in darkness. When, with knowledge and understanding, we drop our desires, we become more receptive to God's ever-flowing grace. Man gets attached to wealth and family, which he has to leave one day. When we know that fact, then why do we not let go of our desires and worries, handing over them to Him who is our caretaker? When we develop the habit of taking out some time during our younger days to contemplate and work on understanding the reality, we will be much happier in our old age. It doesn't mean to say that we don't live a comfortable or happy life. Just enjoy that, but don't hold on to it. Be dispassionate, always remembering within that one day we have to leave it. So, the Master exhorts, take out time for that contemplation. Seek Govinda. Let's now listen to a story for students. A Zen monk visited a small village. The villagers gathered around him and placed their requests before him and implored, "Dear sir, please help us get rid of our problems. Let our desires be fulfilled." And said, "Only then would our lives be full of joy." The monk listened to them silently. The next day, he agreed to an oracle, that is, a voice medium through which gods gave advice or prophecies. "Tomorrow at midday, a miracle is going to take place in this village. Pack all your problems in an imaginary sack, take it across the river and leave it there. Then, in the same imaginary sack, put everything that you want, like gold, jewelry, food, and bring it home. You do this and your desires would materialize." The villagers were in doubt as to whether this oracle was true or not. However, the voice from the heaven astounded them. They thought they had nothing to lose by following the instruction. If it were true, then they would really get what they wanted. And if it were false, anyway, it wasn't a big deal. So they decided to do what was told. Next day, at noon, they all packed their troubles in an imaginary sack and went across the river, left it there, and brought back all that they thought would bring them happiness, like gold, car, house, jewelry, and diamonds. On their return, they were really stunned. Whatever the oracle had said had come true. The man who wanted a car found one parked in front of his house. The one who wished for a palatial house found that his house had turned into one. They were all so happy that joy knew no bounds. But alas, the joy and celebration lasted only for a while. As they began to compare themselves with their neighbors, each one felt the person next door was happier and richer than himself. Now, they began to talk among themselves to pry out more details. Soon, their joy and happiness turned into regrets and remorse. "I had asked for a simple chain, while the girl next door had asked for an ornate gold necklace, and she got it. I just asked for a house, but the man residing in the opposite house asked for a mansion. We too should have asked for such things. It was a wonderful opportunity, the chance of a lifetime. We let it slip by foolishly." Such were the thoughts that occupied their minds. Once again, they returned to the monk and piled their complaints in front of him. The village was once again plunged into frustration and discontent. Many feel that they cannot be happy if they have problems. We should not link our happiness to problems. Problems are there in everyone's life. Tell yourself this: let problems be there on one side. I will still continue to be happy and remain cheerful. This does not mean one should not think of resolving the problems. One must find solutions to the problems, but don't get overwhelmed and always remain unhappy thinking about it. Spending some time in prayers, silent sitting, developing qualities of empathy, attitude of service from a young age is vital. What cannot be learnt at a young age is very difficult to learn at an older age. One keeps postponing such activities for a later age. At young age, we are totally immersed in the worldly pursuits. Yes, it is very important to do our duties and chase our dreams in the material world, but it is also equally important to develop the spiritual side from a younger age and make it a part of our lives so that when we grow old, we are capable of handling ourselves better and lead a meaningful and peaceful life. Jai Sai Ram.